They threw you into the fire, thinking you would scream. They pushed you into the dark, convinced you would disappear. They whispered doubts into your ears, hoping you would believe them. But listen closely now. You didn't scream. You didn't disappear. And you didn't break. You stood there, alone, wounded, underestimated, while they walked away smiling, certain they had won, certain you would stay down, certain this was the end of you. They were wrong. And this is where your story truly begins. They expected you to fail quietly. They expected tears, collapse, surrender. They expected you to beg for the same approval they once denied you. They thought your strength was borrowed, that your confidence was fragile, that without them you would shrink. They expected you to rot in the corner they pushed you into, but what they didn't know, what they never understood, is that pressure doesn't destroy diamonds. It creates them. You didn't fall apart in that darkness. You adapted. You listened to the silence. You felt the pain fully, deeply, honestly. And instead of running from it, you learned from it. Every sleepless night became a lesson. Every betrayal became a blueprint. Every insult became fuel. They expected weakness. They created awareness. They expected the end. They triggered your awakening. At first, the transformation was quiet. No applause, no witnesses, just you, and the echo of everything they said you couldn't be. You learned to breathe through chaos, to stand in emotional storms without asking for rescue. You learned that survival isn't loud, it's stubborn. You stopped explaining yourself, stopped chasing closure, stopped trying to be understood by people committed to misunderstanding you. You rebuilt in silence. While they were watching the past, you were building the future. While they were talking, you were training. While they were laughing, you were learning discipline. They mistook your silence for defeat. They didn't realize it was strategy. You were becoming unfamiliar, even to yourself, and that terrified them. There was a moment, a sharp, unforgettable moment, when you realized something had changed. The pain didn't own you anymore. The memories didn't control you. The anger no longer dictated your direction. You felt it, that shift, like fire turning into focus, like grief turning into clarity, like wounds turning into wisdom. You weren't healing to go back. You were healing to move forward. You stopped asking, "Why did they do this to me?" and started asking, "What can I become because of it?" That question changed everything, because you realized your growth didn't need their permission. And then they noticed. Not because you announced it, not because you chased validation. They noticed because your energy changed. You walked differently, spoke less, but with weight, listened more, reacted less. You weren't angry anymore, and that confused them. You weren't trying to prove anything, and that scared them. They expected revenge. They got indifference. They expected collapse. They saw control. They expected you to stay broken. Did they really think pain was enough to end you? Now watch what happens when people realize they can no longer control you. They grow uneasy. They grow curious. They grow threatened, because nothing frightens those who rely on power more than someone who no longer needs it. They begin to watch from a distance. They compare. They question themselves. Your peace becomes a mirror they don't want to look into. Your discipline exposes their excuses. Your consistency highlights their chaos. Your growth reminds them of everything they avoided becoming. And here's the truth they'll never admit out loud. Your success doesn't hurt them. Your evolution does. You see, you didn't just survive. You transcended. You turned scars into structure, turned wounds into wisdom, turned betrayal into boundaries. You no longer bleed for people who wouldn't bandage you. You no longer chase rooms that celebrate your absence. You no longer explain your worth to those who profit from your doubt. You learned mastery, and mastery is quiet, unshakable, terrifying to the unprepared. There were days you wanted to quit, days the weight felt unbearable, days when old voices echoed louder than your progress, but you kept showing up, not because it was easy, but because going back was harder. You learned that growth isn't glamorous. It's repetitive, lonely, unseen. But you stayed. You stayed when no one clapped. You stayed when doubt knocked. You stayed when comfort tempted you. And slowly, steadily, you rose. Now let me tell you something they'll never say to your face. They are watching. They replay moments. They rewrite stories in their heads. They pretend not to care, yet care deeply. Because your growth is evidence. Evidence that they misjudged you, that they underestimated your resilience, that they lost control, and that loss eats at them. Not because you attacked, but because you didn't. Your growth is their punishment. Your peace is their reminder. Your silence is louder than any confrontation ever could be. You don't need to announce your victory. You are the victory. You don't need to explain how far you've come. Your presence explains it. You don't need revenge, because life already rearranged the balance. They stayed the same. You evolved. They stayed comfortable. You chose discomfort. They stayed loud. You became powerful. Now you stand here, stronger, sharper, calmer, not hardened, refined. You've learned that true power isn't dominance, it's self-control. That real confidence isn't arrogance, it's alignment. That the greatest revenge isn't destruction, it's detachment. And the moment you stopped needing them to see your worth was the moment you became unstoppable. So let them talk, let them watch, let them wonder. You have places to go, standards to maintain, a future that demands your focus. You are no longer who they tried to break. You are proof that pressure creates purpose, that silence builds strength, that growth is inevitable when ego is gone. And remember this, burn it into your mind. Your growth is their punishment, your peace is your reward, and your journey is just beginning. Stand tall, move forward, and never forget who you became when they thought you were finished. And the most dangerous thing about you now is that you didn't change out of anger. You changed out of understanding. You didn't choose to scream. You didn't choose chaos. You didn't choose to prove yourself to people who were committed to misunderstanding you. And the moment you made that choice, you stepped beyond their reach. Because the people who tried to break you were never looking for truth. They were looking for a reaction, a collapse, a moment where you would beg to be seen. But you gave them silence. And silence is the loudest answer of all. Do you remember who you were when you were at your weakest? When nights felt longer than hope? When you questioned your worth in the quiet? They saw you then, and in that moment, they felt powerful. Your pain made them comfortable. Your confusion made them confident. What they didn't realize was this: you were turning suffering into training. Every insult became discipline. Every rejection became direction. Every loss became a lesson carved into your spine. Slowly, without applause, without witnesses, you became someone unrecognizable. Now, when you enter a room, you don't announce yourself. You don't need to. Your presence speaks before your words ever do. People feel it. Something has shifted. Your energy is calmer, your focus sharper, and the most dangerous change of all, you are emotionally unreachable to those who once tried to control you. Their words no longer move you. Their opinions no longer define you. Their absence no longer weakens you. And that realization, that loss of influence, is unbearable for them. They don't understand how you escaped, how you survived what should have destroyed you. They replay the past in their minds. They question themselves in silence. When did you become this strong? How did you get so far ahead? We were sure you would stay broken. Yes, they were sure, and that certainty became their downfall. Your growth is their punishment because it exposes truth. It exposes their excuses. It exposes their stagnation. It exposes the lie that you were ever the problem. Your progress reminds them that while you chose discipline, they chose comfort. While you faced your pain, they ran from theirs. And that comparison is a mirror they can't escape. You don't need to defeat them. You don't need to embarrass them. You don't even need to confront them. You already won the moment you stopped needing their validation. You became your own foundation, your own safety, your own approval. You learned to stand alone without becoming bitter. And that is mastery. Now you move forward without looking back. Not because you forgot, but because you outgrew. You understand something most people never will. Not everyone is meant to come with you. Some people are only meant to reveal your strength. Those who stayed behind couldn't handle your evolution. They couldn't survive your discipline. They couldn't match your pace, so you kept walking. Let them talk, let them watch, let them wonder how you became this version of yourself. You have nothing to prove, only standards to protect, only growth to maintain. Because when you grow in silence, when you rise without hatred, when you master yourself, you hurt no one, yet you leave a mark that can't be erased. Your growth is their punishment, your peace is your reward, and your future is far beyond their reach, a future that demands your focus. You are no longer who they tried to break. You are proof that pressure creates purpose, that silence builds strength, that growth is inevitable when ego is gone. And remember this, burn it into your mind. Your growth is their punishment, your peace is your reward, and your journey is just beginning. Stand tall, move forward, and never forget who you became when they thought you were finished.